Well, in this white bucket in front of me may be one of the best homemade fertilizers you can possibly make for your plants at home, and it is ever so simple to do, and it doesn't actually cost a lot of money. So let me show you how it's done. Bolty boy's over here because he can smell what this is made out of. Okay, so what this is fish fertilizer. Why is fish such a fantastic fertilizer for your plants? Well, it's because it's got nitrogen in it, which is obviously a core element of growing any vegetables really. You got phosphorus in there, potassium, calcium in there, and various other micronutrients like iron and magnesium. I just got that offline, but as you can tell, that is a lot of things. Okay, so how do you actually make this fertilizer? It couldn't be more simple really. You need to get yourself a big bucket with a lid on it. Obviously this can be any size bucket. The bigger the better, the more stuff you can put in it, the more fertilizer you can make. Now what I've done here is I've made a very cheap sort of redneck homemade sort of thing here, which is a one-way air valve. Now you can buy these online for making your own like alcohol and that type of stuff, but this is obviously for fertilizer. And what I've done is I've just got a piece of tube in here which I had lying around in the garden, and I've cut a piece off, drilled a hole in the top of my bucket, put a piece put some glue around it to seal off the hole, and then what I've done is filled up this old jar with water, and I've just placed the end of the pipe in there, and that means that the air is now can only go out and not in. As you can see, if I push on this lid, if you listen closely, you can hear the bubbling. So the air can come out but not go in as long as the thing is submerged. Anyway, that's for the gases as the fish decomposes. It will give off less smell that way as well. Right, let's take a look at it. Oh. Wow. Whew. That is smelly. Whew. That's the only downside to this, is that it does smell. Right, what I'm going to do now is get a stick, and I'm just going to give this a little stir. Whew. Oh yeah. Whew. Don't go on a night out after you've dealt with this stuff. Look at that. Wow. Mega stuff. Right, so I'm just going to harvest some of this, and what I do is I just put a bucket in there, and oh, I just got it on my thumb. I think I need a funnel. Woohoo! Look at the darkness of that. Damn. There we go. Now don't worry, the smell does disappear. It's not, you know, forever. Once you put it on your soil, it seems to disappear. Right. Look at the darkness of that. That's over a year old. Wow. That was fantastic. Well, there we go. I've just harvested a bottle of it. This is over a year old, this stuff in here. Absolutely fantastic. Now, this is what you need for ingredients. So there's only 3 ingredients in this whole entire, you know, lot of fertilizer here. Woohoo! Now that is stinky. So what I've got here is some old fish. Now this fish, I know someone who goes fishing on a boat in the sea, and he brings back fish, eats it, and then he has some scraps left over. Bones and, you know, fish heads and fish guts and things like that, and they all go in there, just straight in there. Now when you're first making this, just pop these in the bottom of your bucket without any water in. Obviously mine's got water in it. There we go, there's a fish head. and some guts in there as well. God knows what else. That's all going in there. You could speak to your local fishmongers to see if you could get some scraps and stuff off them if you're having troubles. Just ask around, you know. It never hurts to ask. Wow, there's a lot in here. Whoa, now that is stinky, horrible stuff, that is. Look at that. Going straight in there. My hands really stink. Right, so now you've got all your fish into an empty bucket. Pretend this is an empty bucket. What you want to do is you want to go collect some leaf mould. Now I went into the woods a little while ago and I went and collected some leaf mould, probably like 2 or 3 handfuls. You know, that should be sufficient for a bucket of this size. Obviously just put a bit more in if you got, you know, if you're up in the scale. So just sprinkle that in. Now what this is doing is this is adding microorganisms, this is adding bacteria, this is adding a bit of fungi in there, and what that's going to do is help break this fish down. The microorganisms are going to get to work and really, you know, break this stuff down. Now just leave that on top, you know, even if your bucket's empty, and then what you want to do is you want to get some rainwater, because rainwater doesn't have any chemicals in it. Pour your rainwater in on top and fill your bucket up to maybe 1 inch away from the top. And then what you want to do, put your lid back on, seal her up, make sure she's fully sealed, because if not, there's going to be one heck of a stench. There we go, it's all fully sealed up. And then get your jar, container full of water and just place your one-way valve in there, and then hopefully you shouldn't get any smells come off of it. So yeah, that's how to make the fish fertilizer. And what I would do is leave this for, preferably leave it for a year if you can. But after 6 months, it'll be good to go, you know. And the more fish and the more times you top this up, obviously you can add water to it if you need to top it up more with water. You're going to dilute it that way. So maybe add some more fish at the same time and another handful of leaf mould from out of the woods. And you're just going to keep topping this up constantly, and you will never, ever run out of homemade fish fertilizer. And this stuff is mega. Right, I'm going to put this back in the shed. Oh, it's heavy. Well, after all that, I'm now going to show you how much of this stuff to use. Look at it. It is so dark. Whoa, this stuff is mega. So how much fertilizer to water? Like I said, this is a year old. So the older and the more fish you put in the bucket, the less you're going to need of it. To the point where if you make it so concentrated, you could only need 1 shot glass for 10 litres of water. But at this stage, I'm going to be putting in half a cup for 10 litres of water. I think that'll do. You really don't need a lot. Right, let's go apply this to our plants. Like I said, give this to your plants once every week and they'll love you for it. Now I must admit it is very smelly, but the smell does go away after a few hours. Obviously if you're watering something like lettuce and you plan on eating it that night, that's probably not a good idea. So don't do that. Anyway, hopefully you've learned something from this little video. If you have, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.